It's Jamie from Not So Wimpy Teacher, and it's time for our Thursday Live. I've been going live on Thursdays. At this time, it's 1 o'clock my time. I'm on the Pacific time zone. It's 4 o'clock East Coast time, and we have been chatting about all kinds of really exciting things, but today we're talking about your writing curriculum. Your writing curriculum. So when I say writing a curriculum, I'm super curious what curriculum you use, and you can even in the comments show me a little emoji. When you think about your writing curriculum, is it like a happy face, yay, or is it like a sad face, an angry face, a stressed face? Show me what you think of when I say writing curriculum, because I feel like we all have had different experiences. And hey, Terry, Amy says writing is hard. I get it, Amy. That's why I am here, and we've been chatting so much about writing, and I hope I can help you out a little bit today. So tell me, there's some thumbs down. Oh, yeah, Renee says, oh, I love it. Oh, wow, Amy, that is a really cool emoji with purple forehead. I don't even know how to make that one. Okay, I'm getting a lot of sad emojis. You guys are not in love with your curriculum. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. Rarely do I find teachers who are in love with their curriculum. There's challenges that come with every curriculum out there, whether we're talking reading, math, writing, science, social studies. There's always going to be challenges. There's no perfect curriculum. And today we're really going to talk about writing curriculum, because oftentimes we don't get to choose our curriculum, right? I mean, we're just told we have to do it. I got some Lucy users, some no curriculum. Yeah, that's common with writing. I feel like we get some reading and we get some math, and then our district says, and yeah, make writing happen too. That's tricky. Yep. All right. We often don't get to choose our writing curriculum, and we have to use a specific curriculum that our school has, or our district has mandated. And sometimes they give us a little flexibility to sort of shut the door and do what we need to do, or make modifications that are necessary. And other times they're told, nope, teach it with fidelity, don't change a thing. What I wanted to talk to you about today is if you are required to use a certain writing curriculum, I want to talk to you about ways that you can make it more engaging, because a lot of you are mentioning certain writing curriculums, and I want to know, do you think your students find that writing curriculum to be boring? Because I used a certain curriculum that's pretty popular, and I found my students were bored by it. And to be honest, it was boring for me to teach. And when we're bored teaching it, it's always boring for our students who are hearing it, seeing it, and part of those lessons. So because I found my curriculum boring, I had to get a little bit creative with the ways that I made my lessons engaging. And I thought I would share some of those with you today. If you find your curriculum to be a little bit of a snore fest, maybe a couple of these little changes would help to make a difference. So the first thing, before I even give you a couple strategies, I need to tell you this. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to say to you today. And so if you're multitasking, make sure you tune in right this moment, because I'm about to tell you something that's the most important. And that is, how you teach the curriculum is far more important than what curriculum you use. How you implement your curriculum is more important than which curriculum your admin chose. You can be given really boring curriculum and implement it in a way that is engaging. You can also be given really engaging curriculum and implement it in a way that's boring. You are actually the secret sauce. You, the teacher. So I want you to know that. You might not like your curriculum, and I understand that. I've worked with curriculum I didn't care for either, but you, the teacher, can make it more engaging. And one of the most important things to remember is that you must be the most excited writer in the classroom. When you start your writing lessons, the more excited you are, it's like it's contagious. It's kind of like glitter. It's really contagious. So You sit down and you say, it's time for writing workshop. Come to the carpet. I'm super excited about this lesson. I've been thinking about it. I couldn't even sleep last night. I was so excited. When you say that, I mean, you're going to get some students who skip over to the carpet because that sounds like fun versus, okay, it's time for writing workshop. Come to the carpet. That tells me it's going to be a little boring, not fun. So even if you don't think the lesson is crazy fun, at first, you need to at least act like it is. And the crazy thing is, the more you act like you're having fun, the more fun you're going to start to have. So you are the secret sauce, teachers. You can make this more fun and more engaging, okay? Okay. Here we go. I'm just looking at your comments. When I look over here, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at your comments. Boring. Yep, a lot of you say, yep, it's pretty boring, and I'm bored when I teach it. I get it. I've been there. So what I'm going to share with you are some solutions I came up with. It's not perfect. I can't change everything about your curriculum. I can offer you new curriculum, but I can't change everything about your curriculum. So I want to give you some simple strategies that usually you can do and still not get in trouble with your admin. You're still using your curriculum. That's my goal. First things first, break up this curriculum into mini lessons. Depending what curriculum you use, I found that oftentimes the lesson was like 15 pages long in the teacher guide, and I was like, whoa, if I spent the amount of time it would take to teach this lesson the way it's written out, that's going to be a really long lesson. And see, the longer we stand up there and talk, the more our students are going to get bored. And they're going to get off task, and they're going to start picking at their neighbor's shoes and playing with their jewelry or taking their hair ties out, whatever it is that your students do when they start to get antsy and bored. So the longer you talk, the more boring it's going to be. But also, the longer you talk, the less time your students are going to have to write. And during writing workshop, they should be writing more minutes than they spend sitting on the carpet listening to you. So we want to shoot for mini lessons that are 10 to 15 minutes tops, no longer than 10 to 15 minutes. So 15 pages in our teacher guide, whoa, that's going to take us longer than the 10 to 15 minutes. I want you to know that mini lessons are so much easier. You can see why, like 15 pages, whoa, hard to prep, hard to prepare. When you start doing mini lessons, you're like, oh, I only have to have this much content ready to go, and it makes it a lot easier for the teacher. So 3 things you can do as you look at your curriculum, and do that before you head back to school. Start looking at it. First, open up your curriculum and ask yourself, what lessons can I completely eliminate, if you're allowed to? I know some of you can't do that, but are there lessons in here that they don't help my students to meet the standards, and maybe they're just way too confusing, unnecessary? Look for those lessons. I have found most curriculum has a couple of those lessons in it where you're just like, this has nothing to do with any of the standards. It's not helping my students. So if you're finding lessons like that and you're able, scratch those, because you're going to be breaking your lessons down into mini lessons. Then you're going to need to cut out a few lessons so that you have enough days to teach the really important lessons in smaller chunks. So we got to cut some lessons out if possible in order to give you the days you're going to need for those smaller mini lessons. After you've looked at what lessons you might be able to eliminate, I now want you to ask yourself, which of these lessons can be significantly shortened? Now, this isn't always the case, but oftentimes if you actually get the opportunity to talk to curriculum developers, they'll tell you, like, well, I didn't intend for them to read all 15 pages to their students. I thought they would go through it and pick the parts they felt their students needed the most. Curriculum writers tend to say that when you ask them, but that's not what they write in the teacher manual, right? They don't tell you that you're not supposed to do it all, and they leave it up to you to figure out how to make it happen. So I keep that in mind, and I look at my lessons and I'm like, which of these can be shortened? Like, okay, I must teach this lesson, but I'm only going to do this much of it. I will be able to teach them the skill, model the skill, lesson over. I'm not going to do all this other stuff over here. I don't feel like that is going to help my students. And in some cases, some of that other stuff can be used in conferences or can be used with students who are struggling later on. But you have to get real and say, if I only got 10 to 15 minutes out of these 15 pages, what is really going to move my students forward? So look at those really long lessons and I'm like, I can't cut them, but I need to make it shorter. So you're going to try to eliminate some. You're going to try to make some lessons shorter, but then you're going to find lessons where you're like, it's really long and I can't shorten it. My students need every little bit of that. And that's the third thing I want you to do is which lessons need to be broken up into 2 separate lessons. Instead of standing in front of them for 30 minutes talking, are there lessons that you need to do 15 minutes on Monday, 15 minutes on Tuesday to get through the whole thing? And that's why we were trying to eliminate a few if we could. We want to do this with really important strategies that we know our kids struggle with and that we know are really important moving them forward in their writing skills. So again, you might have to use a certain curriculum, but can you eliminate any of the lessons? Can you shorten any of the lessons? Or can you split them into multiple days? So that's my first strategy with your curriculum that may be a little bit boring is you gotta have shorter lessons. You gotta have mini lessons, just 10 to 15 minutes. So let me go over here to the comments, see what you're up to. Claudia says, special education students have difficulty with writing. Absolutely. All students have difficulty with writing, so that really puts special education students at even more of a disadvantage. But they do the best with mini lessons too. We want to get the mini lessons so that they can go back and write. Well, we work with a conference group, and the conference group is much more individualized, much more differentiated. You're going to have more aha moments there than you are in this whole group lesson. I mean, think about with reading. You might give a whole group reading lesson, but where do your students really have the differentiated on-level aha moments? It's in reading groups. Well, we want to get that with writing too. So we got to get the mini lessons so they can go back and write while we meet with just a small group of students and help them with what they most need from us. Okay. Looks like I got the comment. So I want to go on to my next strategy. So first of all was mini lessons, right? Second of all, and this one's important, and I'm always talking about it. So if you've been listening to me or reading my blog for long, then you might have heard this already. But if you want to make your writing curriculum more engaging for you and your students, offer more choice. Yes, students need some choice. It makes things more fun. When I want to make reading more fun, I let them choose their book. When I want to make math more fun, I let them choose the order they complete their centers or choose which game they do. When I want to make writing fun, I want to add choice as well. And writing workshop should include a significant amount of choice. So if you're not already including choice, let's find some easy ways that you can. Even if you have to use a certain curriculum, there are 2 ways that almost always you can offer this choice and it will work with all curriculum. So let's talk about those first. The first one is let your students choose their writing utensil. This one was really hard for me early on because I definitely had this mentality that my students will use yellow number 2 pencils, Ticonderoga, because they're the best, and I had trouble getting past that mindset that that's what students write with. Yellow number 2 Ticonderoga pencils. Well, not everyone likes to write with a yellow number 2 Ticonderoga pencil. And even when I think about it, when I go to staff meetings or I'm grading a big stack of papers on the couch, there's a certain pen I'm going to gravitate towards, and it's my Papermate Flair pen. Specifically, I like the purple. And this is just my favorite pen, and whenever I have to do some writing or especially something I'm not looking forward to, I need to have my special pen. I got thinking about that. I'm like, I'm probably not alone. I mean, it's not because I'm an adult that I like certain writing utensils. Well, maybe my students like certain writing utensils. Maybe having a certain writing utensil would make writing more fun, something they look forward to. It could make it more special. So I started offering a special set of writing utensils that were only available during writing workshop time, and I let my students choose the utensil they wanted to write with. Scary at first, because at first I was like, well, they can't write with pen. Why not? Why can't they write with pen? Well, they might make a mistake. Yeah, they might. I would rather them just cross it out and keep writing than to sit there erasing a whole bunch of mistakes. To be real honest, what they think is a mistake right now might be something they actually want to put back into their writing later. And instead of spending all this time erasing, just cross it out and move on. It's quicker. So really, that worked in my favor. But I offered all kinds of utensils and I let students choose. So maybe it was mechanical pencil that they liked. Maybe it was a smelly pencil. Those are fun. Maybe it was a felt tip pen. Maybe it was a ballpoint pen, a gel pen, a specific color. But I found that my students would gravitate towards certain utensils. And then once you see which ones they gravitate towards the most, you can start offering more of that utensil in your writing workshop. So I feel like adding that choice into my regular writing time, it didn't change the curriculum I was using, but it made it more fun. Now when students go to independently write, they're really excited to get their writing utensil and they get to write with something they enjoy writing with. And that's just so simple. So Victoria's done that and she said they liked it. So I love that. I agree. All right. The next way that you can probably offer choice, no matter what, I'm sorry, my hair is like falling out because I haven't had a haircut in so long. Sorry. All right, next way you can probably offer choice no matter what curriculum that you use is letting your students choose where their writing spot is. When I first started teaching writing, well, when I first started teaching, I had a strange idea of what the classroom should look like. And it was like everyone will sit in their desk and that's where they write and they're all facing forward and it's perfect. No. See, when we want to be creative, we also need to be comfortable. And so not everyone loves to write in their desk. Some people do. Some people, that is their writing spot and they love it. Other people want to sit on the floor with a clipboard and others want to sit at the back table. I have students who like to lay down on their bellies and have the clipboard in front of them, and that's just how they liked to write. And so I started to loosen it up and say, okay, as long as you are focused in writing, you can choose your writing spot. So they realized that it is a privilege to get to choose the writing spot and something to look forward to because they spend a lot of time in this desk and at writing time, they get to grab their special pen, go to their favorite place and just write. And it's just a really simple change. It's not changing your whole curriculum, but adding that in does make it more fun and less boring. Now, one of my favorite ways to offer choice. Not everyone can do this. If you have to use a curriculum with fidelity and you can't make any changes at all, then you might not be able to do this. And I admit that. But lots of us can make minor changes here or there, and so you might be able to do this. And I think this makes the biggest difference. This is the choice I love the most. I let my students choose what topic to write about. I know as teachers, we love the control that we have and the keeping everyone on the same topic and saying everyone is going to write an essay about the Civil War. Everyone is going to choose a president to write a report about. Everyone will choose an explorer. Yes, I get that. We feel like, oh, we're mixing our standards. That's great. And then I know exactly what they should write about. And then you start teaching it that way too. Is you start going, well, since we're writing about a president, I want your first paragraph to be about their childhood. I want your second paragraph to be about this and your third paragraph to be about that. And we start teaching to the prompt, to the project, rather than teaching the writing strategies our students need. So what happens is that we are only helping them to make that one piece of writing better rather than making our writers better. Because next year, when they have to write a report about the life cycle of a plant, they don't know how to organize all their paragraphs because you're not there to tell them how. They didn't learn the strategy. They learned how to write a report about a president. But also, and this is where it comes into play here about making your writing more engaging, it stinks when you get told you have to write about something that you are not interested in. I mean, that's boring. When I get told I have to do something that I am not interested in, I'm not going to have fun doing it. When someone tells you you have to read a book and you don't like the book, do you have fun? Not usually. So when we tell our students that you have to write a report about a president, some students like that. I mean, my husband's super dorky and he loves to learn about the presidents and he would probably enjoy that project, that prompt. But another student who's like, I'm just really not interested in that, it's going to be like pulling teeth through the entire process. That's not fun. That's not engaging. They don't look forward to writing time because they're not excited about their topic. When we let our students choose the topic they write about, they get really excited. And that means you have students writing about the history of video games. You have students writing about something that maybe has to do with their faith. Maybe you have students who have horses who start to write about the care of a horse, or they're writing about something that have to do with their family farm. They're starting to write about things that matter to them, that excite them, that motivate them. And guys, it's so much more engaging. Now it's something they truly care about. They put in a lot more effort and they get a lot more excited about it. So I know everyone can't do this, but ask yourself first. Don't say, oh, I can't do that. I could never do that. I want you to first say, how could I do that? And really brainstorm that solution first before you cross off the possibility. How could I offer my students choice in their topic? For me, my rule is that it has to be the genre we're learning about. So if we're learning about opinion writing, they have to choose an opinion topic. If we're learning about informational writing, it has to be an informational topic. But for the most part, they can write about anything that they could find the information to write about. And I don't really have a lot of problems with people choosing really inappropriate topics, because typically they aren't as excited about those kinds of things. But video games are fine. They can write about the history of video games. That is a good topic, and one that shouldn't be like banned. I've heard teachers saying, I don't let kids write about that. Why not? If it excites them and makes them want to write, why not? Okay? And your students aren't going to come to you knowing how to pick a topic. No, you're going to have a whole bunch say, I don't know what to write about. But that's where you get to help them learn strategies for generating story topics. And that can just be 1 or 2 lessons at the beginning of your unit. Help them get those topics. And this is a skill they'll be able to use in all the grade levels. Instead of like telling them exactly what to do, you are teaching them how to start from scratch. And that is really powerful. You're teaching them to be independent. Let me take a look at the comments real quick. Awesome. Nicole says she gets some choice, so she's not told what students have to write about. Awesome. Christina says, I love your writing units. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, they should. Of course they should choose their topic, Shannon said. I love that. It was hard for me at first. I'm not gonna lie. It was easier to give prompts and projects and craftivities so that I could really guide them through it. And I felt like, well, I know exactly what they should be writing. They won't write about something I'm not familiar with. It'll be easier for me to give them sources. And I felt like, okay, everyone, let's work on paragraph 1 today. It seemed like I was getting better work. And maybe you are, because you're telling them exactly what to do. But could they recreate that process with a totally different topic? If not, then you're really only helping that one piece of writing, not the writer. So how can you make your curriculum more engaging? Well, you can offer choice. You can let them choose their utensil, choose where they write, and maybe even choose what they write about. That makes it more engaging, for sure. All right, one more thing that I think doesn't matter what curriculum you use, this would make it more engaging, and that is to provide daily share time. Daily share time for every student. See, the reason that we write is to share a story. We want to share what we've learned or share an experience we've had. When students realize that their stories aren't really getting shared, it's not very motivating to write them. And then when our students are really excited about writing and then they don't get to share, they feel discouraged. But when students get to share every single day, it adds a little bit of excitement to it. Like, oh, I can't wait to share this part. You guys are going to love this. So having share time is really important. Now, how I did share time early on was the author's chair. Anyone else ever have an author's chair? And I made it cute, like I decorated my chair. And the idea was at the end of writing workshop, I'd have one student go up there and read their story to us. And I would only have time for one per day because it takes them forever to get their story, get up there, sit in the chair, and then read the whole thing. And I rarely could have time for more than one. So that meant my class of 25, it was going to take at least 5 weeks then for them all to share. And that's if we shared one every single day. We never had to skip it. We didn't have a fire drill. We didn't have a field trip. We didn't have an assembly. So they're really only sharing once a month. And that's great, but it's not enough. And ultimately, the students who are not sharing, who are sitting on the carpet listening, they usually are bored. Our student readers, our student writers and readers, they're not that engaging. They just don't have that skill yet to get up in front of the class and read their story with engaging voice. And so the audience gets a little bit antsy and bored listening. So it's not really an engaging activity. Instead, so that every student could share every day and have a more engaging experience, I went to doing pair shares. So they would share with their shoulder partner. And we do sharing all the time, all day. And so they got really used to it. It was definitely something I taught the procedure for at the beginning of the year. But when I told them to share with their partner, they knew what that meant and who that was. You can mix it up if you want. I did shoulder partners. You can do clock partners. You can do whatever you wanted to do. But I would tell them to share. And I would tell them a specific thing to share. I don't want them to read their whole story to their partner every day. That is boring for the person who's not reading, and it takes way too long. This should only take like 3 minutes. I tell them exactly what to share, and it relates to the mini lesson. So if I just taught a mini lesson about engaging leads, then at share time I say, share with your partner your lead that you've chosen to hook your audience. So now partner A shares their lead, partner B says, great lead, good job. Partner B shares their lead, partner A says, that's an awesome lead, good job. That can all be done in like 2 minutes or less. That's like easy share. They're not reading their whole story, but they're sharing something that they just worked on today. And so they're really excited about their work. And sometimes they actually want some feedback. Like, I wrote this lead. I'm not sure if it is gonna hook my readers. I'll share it with you. And that gives partner B a chance to say, actually, I think that's a good hook. I like it. So having that share time built in every single day, it makes it more fun, a lot more fun. And you can walk around and hear the different shares. And if you have time, you can say, hey, Sean, go ahead and stand up and share your lead. And Emery, you stand up and share your lead if you want to. But really, as long as everyone's getting to share with their partner every day, then they're getting that opportunity that they crave. So I do love doing that. Yep, Shannon, I did partners. You could have them share with their table group. I find partners faster, but you could definitely share with the table group. I didn't use popsicle sticks only because it would take a long time. But if you were doing popsicle stick partners and then they kept that partner for a couple of weeks and then you redid it, that would be good too. But you want to be able to just say, share your lead with your partner, and they can just instantly start sharing and they don't have any questions over who their partner is. So you teach the procedure of what to do if your partner is absent. My students knew what to do if their partner was absent. It was just discussed before it happened because it's going to happen. So strategies for making your curriculum just a bit more fun if you find it a little bit of a drag, a little bit boring, and that is make the lessons mini. That might mean you have to cut some out or have to stretch them over 2 days, but you only want to be talking for 10 to 15 minutes. The rest of the time should be spent writing. You want to offer choice and utensils and your writing spot and your topics, and you want to provide daily choice. That makes writing more engaging. Okay, so I'm really excited. If you would like to learn more about teaching writing, I have a course called the Not So Wimpy Writing Masterclass, and I'm going to be opening that course up again in June. And I only open it up once per year, so this is a really exciting time because we're bringing back the Not So Wimpy Writing Masterclass. It is an online professional development where I take you step by step how to teach writing, from just what writing workshop is and the components to making time for it to delivering amazing mini lessons and independent time, conferences, grading, getting it started at the beginning of the year, everything. Walk you through it step by step. I will have that course available next month, and I don't want you to miss out because, like I said, we only offer it once a year. So I do have a wait list, and if you are interested at all in learning more about how to teach writing in grades 2 through 5, the course is for teachers who teach in grades 2 through 5. So if you're interested in that, make sure you get on the wait list and don't miss out on this opportunity. So the link is notsowimpyteacher.com/waitlist. notsowimpyteacher.com/waitlist. And we just dropped that link in the comments too, and we'll update the video description so it includes the link. But we're getting super excited over here because we re-recorded the entire course because we wanted to add some extra lessons, extra tips, and really we added extra bonuses that I've never done before that are massive. And we just made it a million times better. Like, we're up leveling it in so many ways because we want teachers to get the most out of this experience. So I am getting really excited. We're about a little over a month away until the masterclass opens. So, oh, Amber says the masterclass is game-changing. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Amber. Oh, Nicole says the masterclass has changed my life. I used what I learned this year, and after 12 years, I actually looked forward to teaching writing. Yes, it's the #1 thing that teachers are saying. They come in feeling overwhelmed and just uncertain of what to do, and they leave the masterclass feeling confident and excited. And that's exactly what we want for you too. Awesome. Victoria said, I joined the wait list. Excellent, Victoria. We will keep you posted about, I'm going to be having I'm going to have a free training in June, and then I will be opening up the doors to the masterclass for you in June. All right. Any other questions I can answer real quick? I'm just looking through these real quick. Rebecca said, thank you for all the tips. You are so welcome, Rebecca. It was fun to come and share with you guys. I look forward to these lives. Awesome. Okay. All right. Looks like I've answered all the questions. Carrie said these were great ideas. Awesome. Carrie, I'm so glad you liked them. All right. So I will be back next Thursday. And I am going to be sharing something really special. I've never done a live about this, but it's called the Not So Wimpy writing process. And I'm going to be sharing about just how I took the traditional writing workshop and how I changed it to be less chaotic. I found writing workshop to be just a lot of chaos, everyone doing different things around the room, and I just couldn't handle it as a teacher. I liked so much about the workshop model, but it wasn't quite working in my room, and I'm going to share what I did. So that will be next Thursday. It's the same time. It's 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock East Coast. So put it on your calendar now so you don't forget. I'll be back to chat about that. All right, my friends, have a not so wimpy evening.